Hello YouTube, welcome back to Film Recap. I'm your host, Jonathan, and today we'll be covering an American psychological science fiction film, Astra, directed by James Gray. The movie revolves around astronaut Roy McBride, who travels the solar system in search of his missing father. As he travels deep into space, he uncovers secrets about his father's failed mission and his potential threat to Earth. Now that I have your attention, let's get into the video. The movie opens to apocalyptic power surges of unknown origin soon to strike the solar system, endangering human life as we know it. Major Roy McBride, the son of renowned pioneering astronaut H. Clifford McBride, learns from U.S. Space Command, SpaceCom, the branch of the United States Armed Forces operating in space, that the source of the surges has been identified as the Lima Project base after surviving an incident on an enormous space antenna brought on by one of those surges. Clifford McBride had led the Lima Project, which had been launched some 26 years before to look for intelligent life in the solar system's farthest reaches, and vanished 16 years earlier in Neptune's orbit. Roy learns from a SpaceCom official that they think Clifford might still be alive, and Roy is given the mission of going to Mars to attempt to contact him. Colonel Pruitt, an old friend of Roy's father, joins him on an expedition. Roy and Colonel Pruitt are escorted by U.S. military forces over no man's land to the SpaceCom lunar outpost after flying a commercial trip to the moon. They encounter scavenger pirates who ambush them as they travel to the base in lunar rovers, killing everyone but Roy and Pruitt. A dying Pruitt is taken to intensive care after being brought to the base. Roy then boards a SpaceCom mission that is manned by Captain Tanner, Donald, Franklin, and Lorraine, 4 SpaceCom officers. The Cepheus crew then takes off towards Mars. The ship receives a distress call from a Norwegian biomedical research space station while traveling to Mars. Roy and the ship's captain discover the space station to be deserted when they board it, only to be attacked by an aggressive baboon that had escaped from the Norwegian station. Captain Tanner is killed by the ape before Roy subdues it. Roy is attacked by a second baboon, but he manages to leave the station with the captain's body. Another power surge strikes the ship as it is getting ready to land on Mars, requiring manual intervention. Roy will take over the controls and safely land the ship because the acting captain is too afraid to take to the skies. After arriving on Mars, which reportedly only has one-man settlement, Roy must first pass through the gloomy customs office run by Tanya, the office lone employee. Then he is taken to the underground SpaceCom base, where he meets Helen, the base's facility director, for a brief period of time before being given the task of recording voice messages to send to the Lima Project in the hopes that Clifford will respond. The crew presumably receives a response after deviating from the strip, but Roy is immediately removed from the mission since his emotional attachment to it is thought to represent a psychological risk to both him and the operation's success. He is visited by Lantos while being held in a comfort room, who explains she is a native Martian and has only ever visited Earth once as a child. She also admits that she is the daughter of members of the Lima Project crew. She reveals to Roy in a covert chat that Clifford's crew had rebelled against him while attempting to return to Earth, which had caused him to slaughter the whole crew by cutting off their life support systems. She also reveals that her parents were among the crew members that were perished. She also informs him that the team took him to Mars on its way to the Lima Project base to carry out their own nuclear payload destruction. Helen snuck Roy out of the base and led him to an underground lake beneath the rocket launch site after the two decided Roy should be the only one to confront Clifford. Roy boards the rocket as it is being launched, and when the crew notices him, they are told to take him out. Despite Roy's best attempts, the ensuing altercation ends with the killing of the entire crew. Roy now controls the ship on his own. He considers his relationship with his father and that of his estranged wife, Eve, while traveling to Neptune. His mental health suffers due to the solitude and strain of the journey, but he eventually makes it to the Lima Project. Roy is traveling to the base in a small module when another surge hits, destroying the module and requiring Roy to perform a spacewalk to get inside. He plants the nuclear payload after discovering the Lima base completely abandoned and the majority of its crew dead. He then eventually runs across his father. The ship's antimatter power source is malfunctioning since it was damaged during a mutiny, according to Clifford McBride, the base's lone survivor, who explains to his son that he has been unable to find a solution. Clifford also says that he has kept working on the project all these years because he hasn't given up hope that intelligent life outside of humans exists. Clifford eventually resorts to using the thrusters on his spacesuit to launch himself into deep space, refusing to go back to Earth. When Clifford, against his father's objections, arms the cargo and prepares to return to his ship with Roy. Clifford rejects Roy's attempts to save him, forcing Roy to watch in agony as his father disappears into Neptune's orbit. By utilizing a portion of the Lima Project's ship's hull as a shield and thrusting himself back onto his ship alone through Neptune's ring, Roy succeeds in retrieving the data from the base and returning to his ship. He utilizes the shockwave from the nuclear explosion to move the spacecraft home because he lacks the fuel to do so on his own. Infused with a fresh desire to connect with people closest to him after learning that the Lima Project data strongly implies that humans are the sole intelligent species in the cosmos, Roy returns to Earth feeling upbeat. He appears to get back in touch with his wife. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and comment down below what movie I should cover next. Thanks for watching.